Hi, I'm Ry Moody, helping you to fish smarter, not harder. In this week's blog post, we're going to talk a little bit about the FG knot. It's a knot that's come out in recent years. It's a single strand knot to the leader, and it's primarily used in the jigging applications. Many jigging rods these days have very small eyelets towards the ends, and that's so you don't get tip wrapped too often while you're jigging. So you can't use a lot of their traditional knots like Albright knots, and Bimini's. Well, Bimini's will pass through, but the Albright knot's a bit more difficult to get stuck in the runners. Now, just like any lure fishing application, whether you're hand casting inshore with lures or you're jigging offshore, we always like to use the wind-on leader system, which means no swivels. It allows you to wind on a longer piece of leader onto your rod, so that protects against rubbing against snags or coral or whatever it be. That's why you've got to use the FG knot. It's the only one that's going to pass through these runners without getting caught all the time. Now, there's a few different ways of tying the FG knot. Some are a bit more difficult than others, especially for beginners, but the method I'm going to show you I found very easy, and it allows you to pull the runs very tight. So it interlinks the leader with your actual braid, and it eliminates the chance of it slipping. That's one of the most important things with the FG knot. If you don't pull all the runs up tight, it'll slip and pull apart. So we'll go ahead now and show you how to tie it the way I tie it. Now, the FG knot is primarily braid only. You don't use monofilament, especially for jigging. All lure casting applications you must use braid. So what we're going to do, we're going to shoot against this dark background here. I'm going to get my trusty camera person to shoot over my shoulder, so it's going to give you a better perspective of tying it from the front. Now, to start off with, we double up our line just 1.5 feet or so, and we're not going to tie a knot in here like you would a double. It just stays open, but what we're going to do is anchor it around our little finger first, and then we come up and around the second finger a few times until we get to the point where we can open up this knot and stick it over your thumb and your index finger, so it's just sitting there nicely. It's not too wide, you want that to be nice and tight. Okay, so I'm just going to wind up a little bit. There we go. Right, now we grab our leader, anchor it under our foot, and what we do now is we grab the leader, it's tight to our feet, and then we come underneath, through the knot, then we go over the top, through the middle, round the bottom, through the middle, round the top, under the bottom, through the middle, over the top, around the bottom, through the middle, over the top, and so on. 20 times you have to do it, but after every 5 or 6 or 7, I just simply pull on that nice and tight, and that tightens those runs up, and that's going to be the most important thing about this knot. So we're going to keep going like that. This allows you to tie this nice and tight and really quick. So we do 20 of those, and every now and then we pull up and just pull down tight on the leader. Keep going. 20 times, round about. And then we hold it there. Pull it down nice and tight, and what we do is we just simply pinch it there and hold it in one spot. So what we can do then is take that off our fingers, wind up tight on the rod, and what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to trim a little bit of that tag off so it's a bit easier to manage. Now what we're going to do now is we just make sure that those runs are nice and tight. Push them up nice and tight, then pinch it off. Now grab your tag, and first off we do a hitch around the leader tag like so, and that's going to lock all that off so we can let go of it now. So once again, just make sure all your runs are pulled up nice and tight, everything's nice and tight. Now what we do now, we do another half hitch around the leader, pull that tight, and then we finish it off with a double hitch around like so. Pull that up tight, nice and tight, but we don't trim that tag off just yet. We do that at the end. Now we come around the main line and we do a hitch down onto the knot, nice and tight. And we do another hitch down on the knot, nice and tight, and then we do a double. And we do a double knot, double hitch, through once, through twice, down, pull it down tight, and then we do yet another double to finish it off. Well, you can even use a triple actually to finish it off. Pull that down, nice and tight, give that a good pull. So then all we got to do then is basically snip off the tag, give yourself 5mm or so. That's where the toenail clippers come in handy. But the best thing for the toenail clippers is when you trim this knot off here, your tag from your leader. What you do is you push that down on top till you come right up against the braid and nip it off. Now there we have the finished product. That's going to wind through those guides nice and easy, and it's not going to let go because we've pulled it nice and tight. And this is what you have to use if you're going to get into jigging basically. Now for years I've been using the Bimini and Albright for a lot of our fishing applications, but with the advent of jigging and these rods with the smaller eyelets and that, I've had to teach this old dog a few new tricks. And that method there is the best one I've come across to help you tie it quickly and efficiently, and also helps that most important part, keeping those runs nice and tight. Now if you want a knot that's going to run through your guides effortlessly, this is the one. As you can see, there's no catching there, both in or out. So learn the FG knot if you're going to get into jigging. It's going to be very important, and but what's more important is tying it properly. Now, I've had a couple of young guns on board over the last couple of years who think they've got this nutted out properly, but I tell you what, I have seen a lot of these FG knots come undone. Now, unless you tie that tight and properly, it's not going to work for you. So it's going to take plenty of practice. So, if you enjoyed this little tip and you'd like to see more, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, or if you want some special tips that I only send out by email, head on over to our website www.ryanmoodyfishing.com and sign up to join our free fishing community. Get into the great outdoors, keep fishing smarter, and I'll see you next time.